All right, good morning. Welcome back. How's everyone doing today? Stream should be started. Hopefully it is, right? Do you see it might be on a delay, that's why. But we're about a minute away from the open. Okay, fantastic. Okay. How's it sound? Too loud? We have a little background music today. Just trying to fill in the void. It's a bit loud. Okay. So let me see if I can change this down to like this. What if I did this? And hey Eve, welcome back. Did that fix it? Okay, that's better. Okay. All right, I'll keep it at that volume then. Okay, so let's maybe a bit louder. This is a work in progress. How about like that? Okay, so here's the open, right? 9:30. Let's see what this 9:30 candle does. So we have a couple things that we're looking for. We've got our pre-market liquidity ranges, high and low here. Okay, we've got our previous day high just above us here. We had Asia highs up here yesterday that we were looking for price to come up to. That didn't quite make it. You can see that we did take out this level right here and drop lower. And as we dropped lower, we respected this level here that swept and held previous week low, and we continued higher. So I'm looking for price to now run out previous day's highs and probably these highs as well too. So we'll see if we get the up move. And it looks like we are getting it. Okay, decoding my life. Good morning. Welcome back to the stream. Nice to see you again. All right, let's jump to the 1 minute chart here. So we got a pretty good record this week, right? 2 wins, Monday and Tuesday. So let's see if we can keep the streak alive here. We got a nice change of character. We've got our nice divergence. We have our sweep of the New York low. Everything's looking fantastic. Okay, so now we just need to see a little retracement back into the change of character with an internal sweep if possible. Okay, and then we can look for a long to these previous day highs. Alright, so if you guys are joining us on the YouTube stream, you can notice that we have a little background music going on right now. Let me know if the music is too loud, right, or if the volume is okay. If you guys are okay with me talking over that volume, I kind of just want to figure out, because this is obviously the first time I'm doing it, so I want to see how like my voice is carrying over the sound of the music. So if it's good, let me know. If it's too loud, or if it's, you know, if you can't hear me, or if it's distracting, let me know. But I figure it's good to have a little ambient music in the background when we're just kind of waiting around, right? Okay, so we've got our change of character. We've got our potential high that's already being taken out. Okay, let's see if we get a retracement. We want to see a retracement back down into our point of interest, maybe this imbalance. But we've got the big figure here. We've got the change of character here. Oh, this is running away from us. Okay, you can't hear the music. All right, Zane, can you hear the music? You're saying volume is okay, so if you can hear it and someone else can't, then that's weird. Okay, Anna can hear it. Interesting. I wonder if it's because it might be also. Okay, so I'm getting like mixed signals now. Some people saying it can't hear. I'm talking about the YouTube stream, not the Discord. Right? So yeah. The Discord shouldn't have anything running. But I'm talking about the YouTube stream. If you guys want music in the Discord background, I think I can do that too as well. It might be a little bit different, but okay, there's music. All right, good. So you might have to just turn it up a little bit. All right, volume is fine. Good. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. As long as it's not, overpower my voice and you guys can still hear me fine, it's not distracting. Okay, so we have our potential high here. Looking for, we got a divergence back down. Let's see if we get to move back down here. We're looking to see if this is going to hold our price higher. And run for these previous daily highs. So we're currently trading into 15-minute OB here, right? We had a sweep of the previous low. So step one fulfilled, right? Step one is our higher time frame point of interest. Step two is our sweep into our higher time frame point of interest, right? Step three is our displacement. Step four is our inversion / change of character, all right? And whoa, this is like a huge reaction. Okay, I guess we're not going to get I guess we're going back down for the lows. Okay, another sweep, right? It could look for another move back up from the 50 here. Let's see if we did get a close above this this 50 level in this sweep here. And all the way down. Wow. That's kind of a move, huh? All right, let's see what we get. That's some pretty strong momentum to the downside. I don't really want to trade against that, right? We want to see price now come back up and give us a change of character again on structure in order for us to go bullish. Otherwise, we'll be looking for potentially a short setup if we get a bearish bias continuation here on the 15. That's true. It did react to the 50% of the OB. And so we got to see if the reaction holds, right? We're going to validate that reaction by getting closures above our levels. So 50% here. 50 level here. The sweep of the low that we just swept. So we need to see confirmations. This is obviously we're fighting against the momentum right now. So we want to make sure that we do see valid bullish confirmations back into the market before we start jumping in. We don't want to make assumptions, right? Okay, there's our closure above, potentially, right? And nope, doesn't hold. All right, I'm gonna see if it closes back below 30 seconds. Always gotta wait for the close. And back down, right? So no confirmation. I'm likely gonna see price form a swing low here, come back up. We can sweep this, so we can look for an internal sweep of this high right now back into a psych level, maybe like the 100, or even the 20 here is fine, but sweep this level here back into this imbalance and then drop off. High volatility here around this level, so a lot of up and down. All right, there's a sweep. We want to see it come back, close underneath. I don't want to see a bullish candle though. So that is probably going to close bullish, it looks like. Oh, nice big move up. Okay, so looks like we're bullish. Maybe. Can react to this OB here and come back down. Certainly could do that. What's this high here? 130, 130-ish? Okay. Ooh, down we go. Okay, so we want to see this close underneath this sweep, okay, and then we can look to take an entry. Not yet. Did close underneath the 200 or the 100 here, so that's good. All right, don't get trigger happy just yet. Let's see how this plays out. This is still kind of chopping around here, and we've got ourselves like a range right now that we're locked inside of, right? So this high, this low, so still a little bit choppy. This level right here, you can see these purple dashed lines here on your bias indicators should not be that level because our low is down here. So I still think we're going to come down and sweep those lows and then maybe pop back up. We did get the sweep though. We did get the change of character here. So, you know, this could be a level that we look for price to come back up from. We did get the retest of this high, right, which is that change of character wick. The change of character is right here. You can see, I don't know if you can see it, but there's the green dotted line right there from the indicator, right? So you should have the same thing if you've got the indicator. And then we want to see price come down here, reject this level, right, and then pop back up. But we'll see how the candle's going to close. If you look here, the candle's going to close with a sweep on both sides, but it's going to close above the 50, so we're going to get a bullish bias. on the 15. Right, we did sweep out the low here, and we did get a, technically we did get a reaction here that failed, right? This inversion did not completely close through yet, but still operating within this range. So I'd rather see price come down and take out like another low before we, you know, engage. But I'm just saying that, you know, there could be a buy setup here, and we'll see if this plays out. If it does, then we'll, you know, likely we're going to be just going for the previous day high, and we might just and wait for the reaction at the previous day high. Oh, there we go. Okay, next candle, there we go. There's bullish, right? So now we're gonna see if we get a continuation to, looks like we're gonna get the continuation to previous day high and the New York highs up here. So obviously I'm not gonna chase it here, but we wanna see if we get a nice pullback into this range here if we can. Okay, 50 level sweep, internal sweep, and reaction, which is normal. See how far we get down. We want to see price react to anywhere inside of this candle here is fine. The 100 level would be good, right? That's the OB. This is a 15-minute imbalance right now that is getting slowly eroded away. So we did tap into it with that candle, and this is the reaction now. Let's see, we just pump right through this high. There it goes. There we go. Okay, through that high, next to the previous daily high, should be next. There you go. Boom. Okay, so now what we want to see now is, do we get a reaction here to previous daily high, which I think we will get a reaction, at least some sort of retracement or pullback, which is what we want anyway for our buy setup, right? We want price to come back, and we want price to sweep an internal low in the discount of the range, right? And if this is the pullback right now, this being the high and this being the low, right? Our discount is going to be somewhere in this region here. I don't really see any internal swings that we could take besides the original change of character line here that we saw it hit. And this isn't really a swing high just yet until we get a 3-bar here and a move back down, right? So see what happens here. 200 levels just above. It might come back up and spike that, come back down. Again, just stay patient here, right? Wait for the triggers. We're not trying to jump in, catching the tops and bottoms. Looking for confirmations first, okay? Okay, so that's a good reaction off of the high. We get a closure through, right? Big bearish candle. So now this candle should follow through and follow suit, meaning it should stay underneath previous day high, right? And start to form lower lows and lower highs. First step would be to close underneath the next high that we swept over here, which is that New York high, 170. So in the next 15 seconds, if we close underneath, it should be a good sign. And if we're bullish, we'll come right back up and trade through the highs and close above again. Right, so this retracement down here, looking good. We're coming back to our zone here. We want to see price come down to these levels here, right, with a potential sweep. And if you see here on the 15-minute higher time frame diagram here, right, this is a imbalance that we're going to form, and this is the order block. So we want to see price now create the move back into either the imbalance of the order block here to then push higher, right? That's the idea. If we're going to continue bullish. If we're bearish, we'll run through both of these, right? And then we'll come down. Okay, so here is potentially an area for a bounce, which looks like it's bouncing. Okay, now remember we need to see price now close underneath this level, right? So you can see we closed underneath it. If we come back through it, then obviously it negates what we just did, right? So we want to see it struggle to get back above here. That will kind of solidify this as the sweep above the high. We have divergence as well. It's a very good signal for a short reversal if this holds. Okay, and we can just wait for confirmation, right? You don't have to catch it right at the high. You don't have to catch, like, you're not missing anything right now if you're not in this trade, right? Because we're still kind of forming the structure. Down we go, down, down, down. Good, now we just need to see a closure below that line, right? So pop back up here. $20 seconds. Okay, now what this does is it confirms the sweep, right? So we get a move up, we swept liquidity, we have divergence. Okay, so starting from the checklist, step 1, higher time frame point of interest. That's our previous daily high, right? We swept liquidity above previous daily high. And how do we confirm the sweep? The sweep has to show us a change of character on the lower time frame, right? So right here, we get a change of character if we close underneath this swing, right? This is the only swing we have really in this up move. Otherwise, it would be this right here. We close under here. Okay, so we get a change of character if we close under here, and then that's not it, right? Because we have divergence, we have displacement, we have change of character, we have inversion, and then once we have that, what do we need? We need price to retrace. Okay, once we get the change of character, we need price to retrace, give us an internal sweep, preferably, right? Or we want to see a price just kind of respect the change of character level here and then come down, right? So that is what we want to see if we're short. So we still need we still need some steps to form before we're short. Obviously, everything is still bullish on our time frame wise. We still have daily 4-hour 15-minute bullish, so we need to respect that and see price kind of follow through on the bearish side before we jump to any conclusions. All right, so we were also looking for price to go long here, right? This was our discount level. This was our sweep, right? So this technically was our long setup. The reason I didn't take it was because we're also kind of short, right? So we're caught in another range. And I don't have a clear target to the upside anymore because we took out previous day high already, right? That's really what I was looking for price to do today if we're going to go long today, to take out previous day high. If I don't have a target to go long, right, I'm not going to take a long here, right? And if it goes long again and it, you know, breaks previous daily high, then great. Now after that confirmation, I've got my bullish bias again. Now I can look for another setup long, and I can look for the next target above this because we've broken above it and held above it, right? So would it have been wise to go long here? I mean, I would have got a little bit of a move up, but ultimately you can see here we're already failing, right? So now let's see if we get this closure underneath here like we want to see. Okay, 6 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Close. All right, so good. There's the closure. All right, now we have an internal high that we can sweep if this does form the low here. Okay, we have an internal high we can sweep right here, revisiting this 50 level. That's the only swing I can see right now that's visible, right? We're also going to be forming this imbalance here on this candle close, right? So if we form an imbalance, we could also look for price to come back into this imbalance as a point of interest, because that is where the change of character swing low is. Okay, and so what we want to see is price either do this, right, or this, right? One of these two things. Okay, so wait for a retracement back up into this imbalance, or if we can, sweep this high. And we might get it here. So we can see price holding the OB at the bottom, right? We got a divergence here. Here's the moment of truth. Do we get up here? Let's see if we get it. Okay, nice push up into our imbalance. Let's see, we're at 100 level here, tap. And then our swing high up here, if we can get that. If we get no confirmations here, right? Okay, so it is testing the imbalance. We want to see it close outside of the imbalance, which was good right there. Last second it closed outside of it. And then we want to see a reaction away from it, close underneath the change of character, and then we can short this. Okay, 45-ish points. I hope this doesn't just fall out of the sky on us on this candle here. Actually, wait, I'm gonna wait because we're like 1 minute away from 10 o'clock. So let me see what 10 o'clock does first. We're gonna get a new bias, right, on the 10 o'clock candle. It's gonna switch to bearish. Okay, and then I want to see what the 4-hour candle does. I think that's also gonna switch bearish, which it should, yes. Okay, so we're going to have two of our time frames in alignment. We're going to have 10 o'clock close, 4-hour close, 15-minute close, and then we should see, I mean, that should be an entry right there, but let's see what 10 o'clock does. Might come back up one more time. There's no red news, okay, so I'm really just looking for, 10 o'clock volatility to show us the direction. If I'm using 1 hour as my highest time frame, can I reliably use the 3-bar candle theory with 15-minute as entry? If you're doing that, you would want to use the 4-hour as your highest, as your higher time frame reference, not the 15. If you do the if you do the 1 hour, then your entry time frame should be 5-minute, not 15. So just jump one time frame up for the higher time frame, or one time frame down for your lower time frame. And it's a good thing we waited. All right, there's 10 o'clock. We hit the imbalance one more time. All right, I want to see it close back underneath the change of character line if we can. But I don't like seeing price come back into this imbalance after we've already traded away from it. Yeah, does that make sense, Zane? Or you need me to say that again? Okay, that's good reaction. 10 seconds. Okay, it's a little up and down here. There's not a lot of no momentum from this rejection, so we're not going to short this just yet. I'm going to wait for a better clear signal here. Okay, and we can already see the imbalance is getting inverted, right? So why I didn't like it, because we already tapped into the imbalance, right? You guys know my stance on points of interest. If we tap into it and we reject it, right, that reaction should go. It should not come back into it, right? And if it does, it means that it's doing something else, right? It's coming back to hit some other point of interest. That could be, or it could be coming back to take out a high, or whatever. But I need to see another reaction away. Okay, so we took out the high here. We have divergence here still. I still like this level here. I think maybe we can get back up here and take that out. All right, you see, like, multiple touches into this imbalance is already telling me that this is not, valid. It could still work out, all right? I'm not saying that I can't. I'm just saying that, we should automatically get a reaction and a move away if it's going to be valid, right? This tells me that we're going to just run through, and we're probably going to come up for this level up here. So next level we're going to look for is the 150 level, sweeping this internal high and then trading back into the highs here. Right? And if it does confirm, what will confirm it for me is if we break this whole structure. We'll come back through this whole structure here. Okay, otherwise we're in just a big chop, right? This range is high and low, and we're just chopping inside of it. Okay, so this is the worst place to be in, especially on the 1 minute, chopping back and forth, right? So 15-minute, let's take a look again. What our overall biases right now? You can see the 4-hour and the 15-minute are both bearish. We swept previous day's high, so I don't expect price to come back up to here. All right, price can come back up into the into the premium here, right? And we could take out some internal highs or come back and retest some points of interest. But price should not come back above previous daily high if this is the valid sweep. Okay, how does this make a valid sweep? On the 15-minute right now, we need to close underneath this bullish candle here with this candle, right? So the next candle, the next 15-minute candle has to close through the bodies here. And preferably closing through this 50% of this order block here, because we already tested the order block, right, with diversions here, and we got that reaction. So it's done its job, supposedly. So if we come back and trade into the OB or into this level here, right, then that means that we're probably going to see price go lower from that point. So we can always just wait for that 15-minute confirmation. Okay, we have one candle confirmation, right? The first candle closed bearish here. The second candle is going to confirm it for me, right? Remember, we wait for a second candle confirmation to be sure, right? And I'm, you know, don't worry about missing all of this, right? We didn't miss much if you in you know, in the grand scheme of things, if we're expecting price to come all the way back down here to take out these lows, and if this is in fact the reaction, or the reversal rather, right? Because it looks pretty good. We haven't had a structure like this in a while. We actually have 4-hour changes of character, daily changes of character, right? So this does actually look like it's going to turn out to be a reversal. I don't know how big, but where's the likely draw on liquidity if that's the case? Well, it's these lows right here, right? So we got a lot of space, a lot of room, right? Don't worry about missing, you know, this 150 point move. We still got 400 points of movement that we can capitalize on, right, from here to here. And if we get confirmations like halfway, we still have another, you know, 100, 200 points to capitalize on. So plenty of room to get to where we want to get to, right, and to confirm what we're looking for price to confirm, right? When price is this choppy and this, you know, up and down, it's just, all of this is just basically to shake out weak holders and get people on the wrong side. Engineer liquidity on both sides and take one side out. Right, and now look, we're back in this wish-wash chop now. All right, now if we don't get a setup today, don't be discouraged, okay? Because we did already have 2 winners this week, right? Sometimes we don't get a setup, all right? If it doesn't happen today, so what, right? You guys got to stop thinking like you need to have a trade every single day to be productive, right? It's called day trading, but it's not everyday trading, okay? So make sure that you're not taking trades just because you're feeling, you know, bored, or if you're feeling like, you know, you should be doing something instead of waiting. Trading is waiting, right? That's all trading is. It's a big waiting game. Waiting for your things to line up, and then waiting for your conditions to be met, and then executing when that time comes. Right, we talked about this yesterday, right? Did you follow the plan today, right? A successful trading day is, did you follow the plan? Did I sit on my hands and wait for my conditions to arise? Right? And if I did, then great, fantastic, right? That's a successful day. I don't care about the result, right? I don't care if it's a win or a loss. As long as I followed my rules and I did everything that I was supposed to, then it's a successful trading session. And that's how you should view it, right? Not whether you took a trade, not whether you know, won or lost. Because sometimes sitting on your hands and doing nothing is the best move, right? That's the best play. Your brain has to be wired different to be a trader, right? If you guys are doing this, you know, to be, you know, full time, or if you're doing this to make an income out of it, if you want to be consistent, if you want to be, you know, a trader, that's your mind has to be wired different, because you're taught something else growing up. You know, the way you probably perceive money, risk, you know, it's all differently, you know, like following your plan and following through and not caring about the results, right? Because we're always taught to like to win or to you know, to have a result. If it's a bad result, then we improve on it. We go back and we fix it. Or like, let's say, you know, in school, right? If you get bad grades in school, what do they tell you to do? Study harder, right? Study harder, go hit the books, right? Or if you play like competitive sports, I don't know if you guys play sports or not, but trading can be probably most analogous to sports in that it's always like, you know, it's like a competition, right? But in sports, you're always taught to win, right? Or you're always, you know, actually encouraged to win. Sometimes, you know, now it's like with kids, like younger kids, they just kind of, you know, encourage you to have fun, which is great. But if you're competitive, like let's say you're playing a professional sport, okay, you want to win, right? So like, let me give you two examples or two outcomes, right? Let's say you want to win this. Let's say it's like a big, let's say like, you know, FIFA World Cup, right? So I'm going to tell you, okay, you guys can win the World Cup, right? Like your team or you specifically, you can win the World Cup, right? Or you can do everything right that you're supposed to, right? And not win the World Cup. And if you win the World Cup, you're doing like, you know, a bunch of things wrong. Okay. This is kind of a weird analogy, but so what would you choose, right? Would you take the win on the World Cup in the World Cup but you did it like you made a bunch of mistakes, you did everything wrong, right? But you still won. Or you do everything right, everything you're supposed to, everything was picture perfect, but you still lost, right? What's the outcome that everyone's going to take? Obviously, it's going to be the win, right? But in trading, it's completely different, right? In trading, it's like, all right, if you do these bad things, right? If you overtrade, if you size up too much, if you you know, move your stop too early, all these different things that happen in trading, right? Like what happens if you take a really bad trade, you didn't follow your rules, but then you won like a whole bunch of money, right? That's going to give you a positive feedback loop on a bad behavior that you did, right? Which is not good, because then you're going to think, okay, because I did that, right? I got a good result. So now I can do that, right? That's a behavior that I can do. But if you do everything right and you get a bad result, okay, that's actually good in trading, right? That's actually something that should happen, right? You should follow all your rules, you should follow your process, even if the result was a loss, right? At least you followed your process. It's different than what your brain is wired to think, right? So it's very difficult sometimes for people to kind of transition to, you know, full-time trading or consistent trading, really, because, you know, your brain is just wired to think differently. You're taught a whole different set of kind of values and rules when you're growing up. So here we want to focus on the process, right? Everything is focused on the process. You follow your rules, you do everything correctly, right? Win or lose, you're not attached to the outcome. Okay, and if you do that, right, I promise you, over 1,000 trades, 2,000 trades, 10,000 trades, if you do that, you will be miles ahead, more consistent than somebody that just, you know, is doing whatever they want. Habits are hard to break, right? If you enforce bad habits or if you reinforce bad habits, you tend to keep doing them over and over again. Okay, we're nearing the next candle closure. You can see we're already dropping through, right? So this was a good area to short, not long. We did get that retest, right? In this case here, the first test of the imbalance failed, but then we came back and we swept the highs here, right? And then we came through, and then we got the closure below here and the closure below here. So this next candle closure, or not this one here, but the next minute candle, it's going to be the 15-minute candle close. Okay, and then we're going to see the sweep of the previous daily high level here confirm on the 15-minute. We got the 15-minute change of character. You can already see that coming through. All right, so the play is going to be for price to come back and retest the order block, right? Or the change of character level here. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What was that? Oh my God. And that is exactly what NASDAQ can do, right? In a matter of like 0.5 seconds. Okay, well, watch this, all right? Because, I mean, we wanted to see a retracement, right? We wanted to see price sweep an internal high. Here it comes. Whoa. Oh my gosh. And all happening within the last candle closure. Look at this. How much is that? That was a 120 point movement in like 10 seconds. Okay, we watch this now, right? This sweep here that's happening, okay? We want to see price stay under that, right? We stay under this level here. We closed under this level here, technically, okay? Closed under the 100 level, right? See what it does. All right, so 15-minute, just because of that last move, it was going to close bearish, right? You can see now the 15-minute has now turned bullish. So we actually didn't get that confirmation that we wanted, that continuation. And, you know, after sweeping this level here, now it's pumped back up. All right, so now we got another mixed reaction. Here's our low end, here's our high end, and we're still chopping. All right, so again, we wait. We gotta wait for the next candle. Wow. Crazy. Angel Herrera, thank you. Appreciate the vote of confidence. Hope you take the advice to heart, right? Hope everyone takes the advice to heart. Because listen, if you're not disciplined in trading, okay, and if you're not following your rules every day, it's the hardest thing to do, really. It's the hardest thing to do is to stay disciplined, right? To stay consistent, you need to be disciplined. It's not anything else, right? It's not the strategy. Like I said, you could go on YouTube and find 1,000 strategies right now and learn any one of them, and they will work for you, all right? But the hardest part is staying consistent with the strategy and following the rules of the strategy for a very long period of time, right? 6 months to a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. Most people will follow a strategy for 2 weeks at most, right? Maybe even 2 days. And then after that, they abandon it and they'll go to something else because they're not getting the results they want. Wow, that was rocket ship. Oh my God. All right, again, sweeping out the highs. And let's see what happens. We might get another retracement here. See if it comes down from here. Big move down. Okay, so re-sweep of the high. We have a new range high now. And let's see if we get some kind of move down from here. I mean, that was such big momentum. Probably going to want to look for price to buy back up in our discount here. Okay, we have a sweep of these levels here. But yeah, that looks like a pretty strong rejection. So I think we're going to come back down. Let's see if we can come back down to the discount levels here. Interesting. See if we get a rejection of this 80 level beneath the previous daily high. Looks like we're gonna close in 15 seconds. So if we close underneath that 80, we'll probably stay underneath and go lower. If we go above it, we'll go back above previous daily high. And it's like fighting that level here. That 80 level is very sensitive. You guys know how I feel about the 80 level. And there it goes. Oh, let's see. I think it was maybe it was the 100 level we wanted to retest. Yeah, I don't know if we'll get a setup here today, but it's definitely a lot of volatility happening, so. Going through that level, coming down below that level. All right, if we close above, it looks like we're going to keep going higher. I think we're going to keep going higher, push up above this high, and then we'll reach the 29,250. Next level above here is going to be this imbalance up here at 300, looks like. See what we do on this 15-minute here. We gotta get back underneath previous daily high for this to be valid. And let's see if we get underneath here, 140. So 30 seconds to see if this candle closes below. If we do, we might see this level hold. Just needed to come back and retest this high one more time. Okay, we're coming down below here. Yeah, good job. Go, 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 keep going. Close underneath. And we'll probably bounce a little bit, but let's see what this does here. Oops, we want to move that out. Keeps going down. Good job. All right. So if it is bullish, right, we'll look for a reaction in this region. This is the change of character line. I'd like to see a sweep of an internal low, though. This is a little bit too high in the range, so I don't like that. So want to see if price will do something like this, where we come down and we create a low here, and then we sweep it into the change of character into this imbalance, and then we come back up, right? A better play would be to look for change of character and then try a play like this, okay? But you could take it off of this reaction, but you know, we'll see if it's valid. Okay, that's a bullish close back above the low that we just swept here. So let's see if we come back up to previous daily high and close back above it. There we go. So it could retest this 80 level, again, that 80 level, just below previous daily high and turn over. And see in the next 13 seconds if that happens, right? Candle closure below or above. There's an imbalance right here. There's a 1 minute change of character right here, right? So if it is going to retest and go down, this might be the area to see that happen. There it is, retest. Is it going to come down? Let's see if it does. Nope, I'm going to go above. So if we close above, then we're probably going to be bullish, right? I'm going to close back above here. It needs to be a very convincing close, though. I don't want to see like a wick close or like a half body close. That's kind of... see if we run through this imbalance or not. We are respecting the imbalance currently, but all right, so if this forms a swing high, this will be our sweep, our internal sweep to look for a short from, right? And we'll look at maybe the 200 level to reject from and the previous daily high. So we'll see how this closes. Looks like it's going to close bearish, but it could happen to be closed bullish at the very last second, as we've seen price do many times. There we go. All right, and there's that 200 level. Yep, and there it goes back up. Okay, so retested 200, retested the order block. Let's see if it stays underneath now. If it goes back underneath. needs to stay under 200. Close under 200 the next 20 seconds. Otherwise, we're going straight up. And this will be a retest off of previous daily high. There it goes, through up, straight up. And we're gonna run through that high, it looks like, or possibly. Okay. Run through the high. Whoa. Okay, we did run through that high. See if we close above it now. Okay, there's the close above. Now we need to see the 50 level hold. All right, 50 level retest is usually a good retest level for it to come back down, or the 80 level, right? So let's see if either one of those holds. Looks like we're going through the 50 pretty aggressively. Next. Let's see what the next candle does. See if we get an aggressive sell off here. If not, it's going to go straight through. Right, so just kind of waiting for these things to play out here. Nothing really we can do at the moment. Seeing if the level holds, if we get a retracement, if we get a some kind of retracement. Stay under the 50 is what we want to see for price to hold. There's an imbalance below here that we're tapping into. We already tapped into it technically. All right, let's see what this can do. If we get a candle closure below the imbalance, get the inversion, then we might be looking at a potential sweep. All right, that looks like a good close. All right, so we've got an inversion. And it's about 10:30 right now. I don't think we're gonna get a setup this session, unfortunately, guys. But you know, the price action is obviously very, you know, choppy still. We got one big movement. We didn't get a really big retracement. We can still get a retracement into this level. I like this level right here now because we've formed this high. Okay, and we've already closed back above previous daily highs. So I'm back bullish again, looking for price to go higher here, right? But we just need to see a retracement back into the range and take out these highs next. Okay, that's going to be the draw, or at least come back up for this imbalance here. So like 280, 300, and 320, those are the cycle levels above us, right? Those can be targets if we get this pullback. Okay, so we have bullish candle, very strong bullish candle. This candle closes in this region, gives us an imbalance. Then we're going to look for price to pull back into the imbalance or into this order block region here, and then give us a move up to these levels here. Okay, and that'll be an afternoon setup. And that's what I'll be looking for. If we get price to run straight through, right, then we can look for a bearish setup. But right now, the order flow and everything is still largely bullish, so we'll stick with that. All right, guys. No trade today, unfortunately. It's all right. Yeah, better than taking a loss for sure, Tommy. Okay. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. We'll end the stream here today. Yeah, FOMC is later, but the FOMC isn't followed by the press conference, so there's no rate adjustment. There's really nothing, that should do anything like crazy. So yeah, no trade days are good. Yes. All right, we'll come back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. Take profit Thursday, right? We'll get a trade on Thursday. Okay. All right, guys. Yep, you're welcome. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.